walking, I strut my stuff, and I'm so strung out. I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. Let me go on, like a blister in the sun. Let me go on, big hands, I know you're the one. Well, body beats, I stain my sheets, I don't even know why. Well, my girlfriend, she's at the end, she is starting to cry. Let me go on, like a blister in the sun. Let me go on, big hands, I know you're the one. I struck my stuff and I'm so strung out. I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. When I'm out walking, I struck my stuff and I'm so strung out. I'm high as
The following show features stupid opinions and ideas from two idiot brothers who probably did little research and practiced zero due diligence on the topic at hand. The MLO Bros' opinions do not reflect the views of their employer, guests, sponsors, families, neighbors, or pets. If you do not like what they are saying and don't agree with their views or opinions, don't watch the show. We can promise we do not care. Welcome to the worst show on the internet.
Welcome, my fellow Polonites. Hi, Isaac.
Hey, Luke. Hey, Poland. What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, you're not from Poland anymore. You shouldn't even be here
anymore. No, that was.
You are a property owner, so if anybody gives you crap,
I still own a condo, an investment property in Poland, but Poland was real quick to start saying that guy doesn't even live in Poland anymore. What is he even commenting on all this stuff? But thank you, everybody, for being here. We appreciate you. Before we get started, I just wanted to talk about our sponsors. Number one being Valley Insurance, and number two being us, the MLO Bros, real estate agents and loan officers. Give us a call if you're buying real estate.
How awful! If you want to sell your house and you want to sell it quick, look at that sign. Look at that picture.
Just put this in your yard. Put this sign. just put this sign right here in your yard. We'll sell your house for you. We're licensed real estate agents, licensed loan officers. Call us. We'll take care of you.
Unbelievable, dude! I can't wait.
Also, one more housekeeping thing I want to talk about. I know a lot of Poland helped us, donated to our family
Project MKC.
Project MKC, the family that we sponsored for Christmas. I just wanted to, if you haven't seen the Facebook post, I just wanted to share with you what we got a response from our family. So,
and before you do this, Isaac, real fast. We went shopping. We donated some money, but this was our followers and the people on our groups that did it because it was amazing. Family of 8. So.
Yeah, we raised a couple $1,000 for them, bought them presents, and got them a bunch of gift cards. She said, "I wanted to thank you and everyone that made it possible for our family to have a Christmas this year. There are no words to describe how happy and surprised my kids were when they woke up and saw there were presents under the tree. All the tears were of joy. We appreciate all that was done for us from the bottom of our heart. Thank you for putting a smile on my family's faces when I couldn't." That is awesome.
Yeah, dude. Cool. I didn't post a picture of the family because it was like little kids and stuff, but dude, like it melted my cold, bitter.
Oh, they sent us pictures. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, it's on our messenger of the family. I'm telling you, I was like the Grinch, man.
She messaged us that.
The Project MKC did, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, I'll have to check.
All right, let's bring on the Supe. Everybody doesn't want to hear us; they want to hear the Supe. Let's bring them on. But anyways, one more time, thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
Mr. Hockenberry, hello.
Hello, guys. Hey, thanks for having me on again. How you guys been?
Good. You should have taken the bet with us on the Bengals. They beat the Browns that last game.
Oh, I know they didn't. That was rough season, man. I can't believe we won games after Burrow went down, but oh well. Hey, I still owe you guys a pizza, so we got to do that.
We're probably even now after that beating.
Yeah. Did you guys get kicked out of your studio? Because We can't have pizza there no more. I can't bring it in.
It's under repairs.
Oh, okay. I thought you guys got evicted or something.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Mayor Tim is not
happening.
Yeah. I still owe you guys pizza from St. Anthony's. I'm going to bring it in. And as soon as like everybody, I'm on a January diet. So
hey, Craig, look who's watching. Rocco Hockenberry.
Oh yeah, that's my son.
Where's he at?
He's in Cincinnati. Yeah.
Cincinnati.
Yeah. He's up watching. That's for sure. Hey son, make sure you get to bed. It's almost 9 o'clock.
Yeah, get to bed.
Time, bud. Come on.
He's going to be a good football player. Real good.
How old is he?
He's a freshman right now. Awesome. He started on the freshman team. Really, really good player. Very, very high football IQ. You know, very, very good for a freshman. He's played a lot of fullback and a lot of linebacker. So hopefully I'll get him up here in the blue and white pretty soon.
Let's go.
Hey, we need some big boys.
Do you go look for a house? Isaac, show him our son.
Yeah, do you need us to get your house?
I saw that.
Real estate agent? Listen, I'll be your real estate agent. Luke can be your loan officer. Or if you want Luke to be your real estate agent, I can be your loan officer. Whatever. Cool.
Very good.
Sorry, enough of the plugs. Jesus, man, the freaking plugs
on to more important news, Supe. Tomorrow, they're calling for it. The chants are beginning. Megan says I'll start the chant now. Snow day. Snow day. Can we maybe and Cassandra says the same thing. I'm with Megan. Snow day.
So
talk about it. Are we allowed to talk about it with you?
Yeah, we sure can. So just so you know, we've been watching this since early this morning. It seems like it's a never-ending cycle here in Northeastern Ohio. Man. It's like, so before we talk about that, though, I want to remind everybody, because you hear all the everybody always says, back when I was in school. Back when I was in school, we went no matter what. Couple things about that, just so everybody knows. Back when we were in school, the state was on days. Okay, we had a certain amount of days that you had to complete, or they couldn't verify the school year. So now we're on hours. So Poland, like a lot of school districts, put in way more hours, but that the state requires than we're supposed to. So I have anywhere from 14 to 18 days to play with, right? So we're not really worried about running out of days, and so right now we're a lot more liberal when it comes to calling school off. We err on the side of safety and caution. Superintendents back in the day wanted to hold the line. They didn't have access to the data that we have now. Right. I mean, we know today Akron just closed schools, Akron University, all of Stark County and all of Summit County, and we know it's coming this way. We're watching it as we come. This one's a little challenging because it's not really going to hit us till 3. So we'll start driving at about 4 o'clock in the morning and make the call. We didn't want to make the call now because there's not a single drop of snow hit yet. So we're watching it close. But
do you also look at what it's going to do during the day? So let's say it starts to snow at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock. And it's like tomorrow, it's saying it's going to be an inch of snow by 7 or 6 when the kids start getting on the bus. So do you look at it, is it going to keep going? And then you don't want kids trapped at school or a dangerous ride home too, right?
That's the worst case scenario. Early dismissals, like trying to get kids out. So we always want to try to avoid that. Yeah. That's some of the factors that go in. The number one factor for Poland is we have 61 bus stops, right? Wow. So we have a lot of kids that are sitting at bus stops for long periods of time, waiting on buses. Some of the parents, the kids just walk to the bus stop. They're alone. We got to be very careful. It's all the things we can't control that we have to watch. If young drivers are on the road, we have a ton of drivers that are going to YSU, that are going to take college classes, that are in and out of the seminary all the time. We have staff that are moving between buildings. We have staff that work at other school districts, Holy Family. We have, we transport them. So there's a whole big factors that go in. We have staff. We have people that live in Poland that work in other school districts. So if they're closed and we're not, it impacts everybody. So we err on the side of caution. We're going to watch it real close. And, we've only had one snow day this year. So we're going to keep an eye on it.
What do you have to say about the parents and Megan here? I'm just trying to plan ahead for the morning workday. That say, hey, why are you waiting until 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m.? Why not call it now so that I can plan what the heck I'm going to do in the morning with my kids?
Yeah. So that's always the goal, to call it as early as possible. But in these cases, there's still a chance that we might not get any snow at all.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I call it tonight, I've disrupted thousands of people's work schedule and not a single drop of snow hit. And that's happened before.
You could no win.
Yeah. So it's like we have to wait and give it a shot.
Was that a year or two ago that happened? I swear. I think that was here. You were they said it was going to snow a ton. They canceled it at night, and then we got like rain all day.
Yeah. That was here once. Mahoney County did it, and it's happened in other districts I've worked in too.
Okay.
It's, I'll tell you this: people joke about that, and it's funny, and we all like laugh it off. A month from now, we forget it. But if something ever happens, we'll remember it. There'll be a monument out there, memorializing a kid or something that slid off the road. So I would rather have everybody be inconvenienced for a day and joking that, I always tell everybody I'm not a weatherman, I'm a superintendent, but I'd rather have people joking than to have something really serious happen.
The thing that amazes me though, right? The thing that amazes me about this is, who are the people who are complaining, Isaac, about the school days? It's not parents. It's not kids. It's people who like grandparents and people that don't have kids in the school. That is 95% of the people complaining about it.
Okay, how dare you?
Oh, that's not a dare. That is a fact. That is a leader. Fact.
Being a leader is fun, Supe, and you get to encounter this lose-lose situation where if you call it, you're gonna have people saying, "Back in my day, I never had snow days," and if you don't call it, you have. But it's just a lose-lose.
Yeah,
no matter what.
It is. Let's always remember that the number one factor is never unfortunately, we're not concerned about everybody's work schedule. We're concerned about one thing, and that's the safety of the kids and the staff, so at the end of the day, if everybody's safe, we win, so it is exciting. And let's not forget, snow days are a part of the American school culture in the Midwest. They don't get to experience them out West, and in sunny climates, they don't, not like us. So it's just part of the overall experience. We're going to end up with 5 or 6 snow days maximum, out of all the hours that we're in school, and we'll all make the best of it. And Poland does a good job with it.
I'm telling you, the Hawk, don't let those teachers wear those shirts and push you around though, because I saw that picture. And somebody in my house showed me this picture. They're like, "Yeah, look at this picture. Did you see the picture, Isaac?"
Yeah.
Snow
Maggie and her
enthusiast.
buddies all had these shirts, like snow day shirts, and I'm like, you guys are bullying the superintendent. I was like, this is garbage, and everybody's gonna be home with me. I hate it.
And then you had people on the internet complaining that government employees should be forced to go in because
Did you
normal
see that?
normal employees who work a daily schedule go in no matter what. And government employees, it's fun. The internet's fun.
While we're talking about safety and everything, Supe, can we one of the big things that kind of happened last week that I know everybody on here probably remembers, with the pickup and drop off line, and pickup, I guess this was the main thing at the at McKinley, right? With people double parking and stuff like that. Did you see? You had to hear about that.
Oh yeah, we saw it. It was challenging. So let's go backwards a little bit before we can go forward. The original seminary was built down in the village many years ago, and it was designed for horse and buggy. There's I think one road in and one road out down there,
right.
And hundreds of we have about 1,100 souls in and out of there every day with teachers and kids. and it wasn't designed for that amount of people to be there all the time. So that's the first thing. There's it certainly was not designed for that many parent pickups. You know, most schools, and it's not the parents' fault, because I want to reiterate, Poland's closed their neighborhood schools and made one central elementary, right? And one of the unintended consequences of that, that level of efficiency by closing to save money and putting the kids at McKinley, is we created a larger problem with traffic. So we're getting through it. It's unlawful to block the roads, so you can't block the roads. It's painful to see that line. We see the police working out there, and we support our police. One of the things we got to remember, though, if you get there super early, regardless of the process, with time you get there, it's not that long. If you really look at it, by the time you get there and leave, a lot of people are rushing to get there early, and it's causing a lot of the backups. But make no mistake about it, I did want to tell you, August, September, October, and November were not that bad. December and January are getting pretty bad. Obviously, there's less kids riding the bus because of the standing out in the cold and things like that. It's just easier. So I think this will flush its way out. Principal's already working on it, and we're getting there. Hopefully nobody gets a ticket.
I mean, I get it. And when I've dropped off, I don't pick up as much. But I have done it once or twice. When I drop off, I mean, it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe not even. And then, pickup might be a little longer, but I just, and the thing that kind of drove me crazy was that, people who don't have kids in the freaking school, Isaac, start with when I went to school, I walked all the way. And it's like, when you went to school, 170 and 224 weren't the way they are right now. Like, I don't let my kids go down 170 without an adult. I mean, it's crazy. There's no way. So it's like, and the parents, they're allowed to pick up their kids. Like, people are like, why are you picking up your kids? You're making them soft. Make them ride the bus. It's like, because if I want to pick up my kid, I can pick up my kid.
Yeah. It is interesting, though, how there's been a shift in culture from even when I was younger. So 15 years ago, where we all rode the bus. Poland always
different than South Range?
Has Poland always had a large amount of people picking up their kids?
Yes, but I want to remind everybody, I reminded the board last night at our board meeting, all of our buses are filled.
Yeah.
They're filled. Yeah, there's a ton of kids that ride the school bus.
I know my little one sits 3 to a seat.
Yeah.
Cameron sits 2, but that's just because Cameron's huge and he can't fit another kid. But yeah, I mean, they're packed, right? So there are people saying that, and
people are riding the bus, people are picking up, and I think we have very, very, very few walkers. But the majority, I mean, there's a lot of kids. We're going to work this out. I talked to the board last night. We own all that property down there where Celebrate Poland is.
Yeah.
We had talked about potentially doing a loop around the perimeter of that to get more people off the streets now that we know where our focus is going to be instead of building new. So I think that's something the board was open to. It's going to cost a little bit of money, but certainly going to get people off. And if people want to pick up and drop off for whatever reason, that's their business. We'll accommodate. And you're right, Isaac. Like, when I was going, we walked or rode a bus. Yeah. If I would have asked my dad to drive me to school, he'd have looked at me like I had 3 heads. But Luke's right. The traffic patterns are much, much different. There's the traffic and the some of the problems that we may encounter, that's unsafe for kids may occur on those long walks. So we're working through that, but yeah, that's good. Hey, talk a little bit about now that the bond, we got direction from the bond where we're going to go. I think a big bunch of obviously of our parents want to know and staff want to know. We had originally came out with some ideas. How do we make Poland so we're not constantly moving families around, opening, closing schools, building on, and adding on. We came up with a couple scenarios to the board and spent about 2-3 months really talking about what really makes sense. And I think we're all starting to go to a 2-campus model with 4 schools, kind of like what we're doing now, really developing K-3 down in the village at McKinley, expanding their space, really putting money into it to fix it up and make it 21st century learning, doing the same at Poland Intermediate, which is Poland Middle, really fixing it up. And there's a lot of unused space down there that we cannot access because it's deep in the basement, hasn't been used, or just area we want to actually invest and put some dollars into to make it better. Fixing up the high school and making it more modern and really adding space, and then a huge focus on the 7th and 8th grade. Right now, it's like we just took 7th and 8th grade and we put them in the high school.
Yeah.
And they don't have their own identity. And you all know 7th and 8th graders are completely different. They grow, they learn, they develop different. So we're really focusing on a 7th and 8th grade experience by literally reconstructing areas of the building to give them their own learning space, their own identity, and basically run 4 schools inside of one, as opposed, or inside of 2, instead of opening North, opening Union, moving kindergarten teachers to Dobbins and things, really putting all of our energy, resources, and time. I think we have to move past what we don't have, and we need to start looking more about what we have, and let's fix it up and make it right.
Any talk of like adding on square footage?
Yes, that's going to be the push at 7th and 8th grade, making a complete middle school experience where they have their own potential area in the cafeteria. They have their own restrooms. They have their own classrooms. They have their own office. They have their own pickup and drop off. They have their own school culture, maybe even their own principal. We move an assistant principal over there. We move their own counselor. So you have a middle 7th and 8th grade experience. Right now, we got about 330 kids shoved in one hallway. Yeah. And, they don't get the experience of a pep rally, a middle school dance, and all the stuff that we could really develop there. And I think if we can fix that piece, put some money and time and energy and resources into updating these buildings, I think obviously we have to, but I think people will be very, very pleased.
What kind of price range we talking?
Yeah, so we just met with some architects to help us put designs together. It's hard to put a number on it right now, but I think obviously we don't have to go for new money at this time. Yeah. We would be looking more towards potentially borrowing money. Schools can get loaned money, as everybody knows, and as opposed to doing this piece by piece instead of saying, okay, we need 105 million.
Yeah.
So we think that's our best bet now. The community's spoken. I even think the opposition would agree that, this is what we have to do. So I think we're in a good spot right there. And then we're going to put North and Union. I think the board's going to put a timeline on me and basically say, you have, 12, 13, 14 months to put a plan in place to offset the cost of that, whether we lease it out, whether we turn it into a good public space or what have you. So the cost for the public goes down. So,
right.
Yep.
Entire tone. I feel the entire tone push of the schools is really moving forward into the future. Glad to hear a gear shift to keep the momentum going. There you go. Good question, Steph. How will this work with larger class sizes coming in as well as adding classrooms to decrease class size? I was under the impression there was no space at McKinley.
Yes, there is no space at McKinley. That is absolutely correct. When I say no space, we're saying that we would have to add on to space, or we would have to commandeer space and make it better. So, for example, if like in a library, we may have to use for classroom space. A computer lab, we may have to enhance. The art room, we already moved. But yeah, we would have to, and we're not ruling out adding additional classrooms on. That's as part of it. And I want to remind everybody, at the middle school, there is more unused space. So I want you to kind of digest this. Underneath the gymnasium, the old locker rooms, all the tunnels under there, there are maybe 6, 7 classrooms. There's a central copy spot that space is larger than Dobbins.
Really?
That's unused space that has multiple stairwells that you can't get down so it's been shut off because we don't have access to it for handicapped kids. So now we can, before we put that money into it, we wanted to see if the district wanted or the community wanted to invest in new. So now that's all on the table now. Now we would look at this space. We have space at the middle school. We have a library that used to, I believe, be a study hall that is about the size of 4 regulation classrooms. That, so now the question is, how are we going to invest our money into making that adequate learning space for our kids in the 21st century?
I just pictured Supe going in there with a sledgehammer like they do in the movies, and like knocking down like an old creepy stairwell to get into the basement. You know what I mean?
And like boarded up. He uses like a crowbar to pry it.
Like an old boarded up, blocked off thing.
Exactly. Here's a question. Lori says, I thought the goal was to give 7th and 8th grade a separate experience. If the goal was to give 7th and 8th grade a separate experience, why didn't we leave board offices in the high school and put 7th and 8th grade in Dobbins? Resources.
Yes. Right? No, well, that's a great question. And I'll be honest with you. That was my very first idea. So her and I think alike. So Dobbins was designed for an elementary kids. All right. So all of the toilets, including this toilet in all the classrooms and stuff, are all designed for little kids. So immediately we would have to redesign all the toilets. The gymnasium is designed for elementary kids, not for 7th and 8th grade. So they couldn't even conduct gym class inside of Dobbins. And also cafeteria space. Yeah. It just wasn't designed for, we would have to put a lot of money into Dobbins, and we would have to pull resources too. We need to bring art, music, gym, foreign language in and out. So the idea of keeping them at a central location was certainly more,
So Sue, personal question here. Have you mastered the art of using the tinier urinal and the tinier toilet?
Yeah. Yes, I have. I've been using school restrooms for almost 3 decades. You know?
Nothing but high quality interview questions here.
Yeah,
he didn't get that one on with Ron Verb when he was with Ron Verb.
No, he did not.
I do have a question. Well, can I say I have a 7th grader?
Yeah.
And I know there was all kinds of pushback, right? I like them being attached to the high school. I like that, but it's a little tight right now, obviously. Yeah. But I like the aspect of you guys adding on and giving them their own space, but still by the high school. Because what I don't think a lot of people realize is, like you said, 7th and 8th grade is kind of like no man's land for these kids.
Yeah.
Because they're not little kids, right? Yeah. And they're not high schoolers, and they're not, they're not adults yet.
Yeah.
And I like the ask because I know there's some blending, and it's not like walking through the hallways, but you have some of the high schoolers dealing with the 7th graders. It's good for them to get like the Poland bulldog spirit by seeing that kind of
stuff. I want to see them have their own pep rallies. The junior high has big football games, big events. They have their own they need their own, concerts. Yeah. And I think sometimes at the seminary, we're always focused on, the high school. I think giving them, and you know what, if you give them their own principal, right?
Yeah.
And you give them their own secretary, their own counselor, then you got people that are planning those things, and really thinking about that. So, that's something we're really looking forward to. Enhancing that middle. Nobody's complaining about the K-3 experience.
Yeah.
Nobody's complaining about 4, 5, and 6, or even the high school experience, but we have to unlock that 7th and 8th grade, and we're going to do that.
One of the guidance counselors at Poland. I think he's the high school guidance counselor, but he would also be 7th and 8th grade. He's a good buddy of mine.
Joe Morocco?
Jimmy.
Yeah, Jim. Yeah.
He's Luke, he texts me and he says, your nephew brought up today in class, I saw him, he brought up during the 7th grade dance, he wants to bring cards and play poker with all the boys in the corner so that they don't have to dance with the girls. He's like, I thought that was exactly what you and your brother would do. And I just wanted to let you know that like he's already scheming like you do. And I was like, and all my response was don't be a narc, let the kid play with his cards.
Yeah.
That's my baby boy right there.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to mention, Stephanie Seville had said, talked about the high class sizes. So here's the big steak dinner bet. All right.
Okay.
225 4-year-olds spread through 9 preschools. So are they all going to show at Poland? That's the big question. So,
well, you lose some kids at the Catholic schools, right?
Right, correct. So but there's our kids at Holy Families preschool that may end up at our kindergarten because our preschool was full and they couldn't get in. We just never know. So we're waiting to see how those numbers pan out. We do have a plan for 1 year if it's overloaded. Immediately, once they're there, if we have a second year, we're going to be rushing for some construction. So, and I've explained it more. Now, the other thing is, if we get 170 or more, we got to add another teacher.
Yeah.
If we get less than that, we're going to be fine. So, if that number gets over 170, we're going to have to get really, really creative until we get more space down there. So.
Here's an addition to Stephanie's question. Another one she said, so then do the kids lose library art?
Oh, no. We're required by we have a collective bargaining agreement. Teachers, no matter how many kids we get, no matter how many staff that we add, they have to get those minutes. So if we have to take technology, the room, that would be on a cart. The teacher would go to those classrooms. If we had to do art, I think a lot of the kids go to the other side for art. They have an art room. Yeah. And we have some options over there. We don't like kids going back and forth, little kids with the older kids. And a lot of it has to do with facilities. I mean, if they have to use the restrooms, they can't reach the urinals. It's hard to transport, 30 kindergartners across the entire campus, have them sit in another room, then pick them back up. And if one of them has to use a restroom or anything happens, it becomes more of a problem over time. So, but no, they'll continue to get art, continue to get library, the space may look a little different than it does now.
Here's an interesting question Allie Matson has. Is there concern when it comes to timelines to reno the middle school? When you consider tearing into walls in a building from the 1800s, would it be done during summer when students aren't in the building?
Yes, we won't do anything during the school year. If we decide to renovate that space, that particular space she's talking about, if it becomes, hey, we can afford it, we need it, nothing will be done during the school year that would disrupt education. I will tell you, though, it's underneath where the 4th grade is. It's pretty far down. There could be a lot of work that gets done that doesn't disrupt the day, but construction won't do it. We won't allow them to do it. And we'll make sure that we do it around, like we did all the stairwells. We repaired underneath and treaded all the stairwells over the Christmas break because that would have disrupted the school day. So we won't do anything. So
asbestos and lead-based paint.
When were the projections? So you're saying summer then? Are we
yeah, I think the first thing we have to do is find out from our architects what the design looks like. We have to work with our teachers, our staff, and the board to see what they want the designs with, put a price to it, and then see how we're going to fund that. And we have some options with that. The board can, go out to borrow money. They could put a permanent improvement on. It all depends on what the cost is. So,
Okay. And then levies, you got, there's a renewal coming up,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. And this is really important. And believe me, I understand, I've been up against the auditor since, the bonds started. We understood the appraisals were going up. And I understand that played a huge factor in why people voted the bond down. I understand that. The board understood that. Again, we knew it was tough, but that was out of our control. We had nothing to do with the assessments. In 1984, the taxpayers voted in an operating levy for the Poland local schools. And every 4 years since 1984, they have approved that money. And that money generates $1,068,000, okay, for 4 years. We need that money to operate the public schools. All right. It ends up being almost $6 million over the course of our forecast. All right. Okay. We understand that people are going to say, well, everything went up, you're getting more money. And we are going to get more money because property values went up, taxes went up, and we do get a portion of that. I understand that. But if we don't get this, over $6 million is going to be out of our school budget. And I'm just telling everybody, Poland will not look the same. All right. It normally goes on in November, and it's never failed, ever, never once. None of our levies, our renewals have ever failed. Even our people that don't support us tend to support the renewals. It doesn't raise our taxes. And they renew every 4 years. And this one's up. The 1984 one's up right now in March. If it doesn't pass, we will continue to put it on until it does. We're hoping what happened to the police department doesn't happen, to us. We didn't put it on in November, so we didn't want to crowd the ballot. So we're putting it on in March. It'll be March 19th. I'm not advocating for it. What I'm advocating for is that understand what you're voting for. We're not putting a bond on. It's not, hey, it failed, we're going to try to sneak this on. This is a $1 million money that generates from the schools annually that pays for all the things that we need to do to provide the experience for our kids and our school community.
Got it. So please vote yes on that, people. I mean, I'm sure the people watching right now are going to vote yes, but my goodness. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell everybody, because boy, we lose $6 million over 4 years. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I know we've gone over this before, Supe, but can you answer Aaron's question? Why do other schools in the area get new buildings built by the state? We have to pay and the others don't.
Yep. So Aaron, great question. And I'm so glad somebody asked this. So I'm not an I told you so kind of guy. All right. There's 611 school districts in the state of Ohio, and that they cover 88 counties in our beautiful state. About 1.6 million kids go to Ohio public schools. Of those 600 school districts, 440 of them have state-of-the-art new facilities. 440 school districts have new ones, right? So we know that because they partnered with the OFC to get money. So the OFC gives you money based on the income of schools, right? Poland has a higher income, so we get a lower amount. We only got 19%. Some school districts get almost 80% of their school projects funded, right? That's why some school districts have already got school money in the 90s and are already tearing them down and building.
Crazy.
We don't get them. So of those 440, this is another amazing fact. About 100 school districts didn't partner with the OFC because they didn't want any ties to that money. They wanted to do whatever they wanted. They raised all the money locally, and they have new schools. So less than 100 school districts in the state of Ohio are going to school in buildings that are, aren't from the turn of the century. So, so it's very complicated. We're to the point now where we are considering, if these prices are too high to renovate, we're considering doubling up with Canfield, boardmen and other school districts that have not been able to pass bonds to say, how do we get more? How do we advocate for more money? Because all of the urbans, Youngstown, everybody, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Columbus, they all got brand new buildings. So everybody got new buildings except for a very small group of schools that, hopefully we can advocate for that if the renovations don't work out the way we need them to.
We would love to help advocate that if we're going to take on the government. That's kind of our thing, right, Isaac? That would be, we'd be all over advocating for that.
Yeah.
If let's say everything keeps failing, I don't know. This might be a dumb question. Probably is. Let's be honest. If it keeps failing, we keep losing these renewals. We lose everything over and over and over and over.
What happens?
And it just degrades to nothing. Can eventually, like, you get money from the government because you have like nothing.
The state takes over, right? Like,
yeah. Well, they'll kind of what happened to Poland when Mr. Genefe was here. The state came in and said, listen, you either have to cut this amount out of your budget or we're going to come in and do that for you.
Wow.
And so that's why you saw kind of North, then Union, and then, the consolidation occurring. The board had to really make some tough decisions, and the outgoing superintendent, it did save a lot of money. And that was one of the concerns we had with reopening North and reopening Union, moving the 7th and 8th grade around and operating too many buildings, that we felt we could end up there if we weren't careful. But yeah, the no funds is no fun, guys. And like I said, Poland would not be able, in modern sense right now, they wouldn't be able to keep up financially if our levies didn't pass, and if we fell into that situation, it would be very difficult because our class sizes are going up, our enrollment's going up, but we wouldn't be getting any more money. And if we didn't pass those bonds, it could get pretty bad. We'd end up in state takeover or fiscal emergency and things like that, and have to make some tough decisions. So I'm pretty optimistic. As much as people get upset at Poland sometimes, they tend to know that we do a good job with the kids, and most people have a really good experience at Poland, which a lot of people are very proud of Poland.
Yeah. Wow. There we go.
Yep.
We appreciate you, how transparent you are, Mr. Yep.
Thank you.
I know how much we make in the others. So yeah, it is hard. It's hard. It's hard. Not just working single parent. Every parent has it hard. I mean, it's tough right now. Let me tell you what, no doubt.
What's interesting, and I have a bet with Stephanie Hahn too. But what's interesting is over time, if the numbers and statistics of new kids coming into the schools, if it continues in the direction it's going, and you said there were 200 or whatever kids in preschool, over the next couple years, as you have, it's more proof of what we've always talked about, Luke, that Poland is going through this turning over of older folks selling their homes and people with kids or people my age starting families moving into Poland. Eventually, you're going to have enough voters that the tide will turn, and you're going to get new schools. You're going to get more money because people are going to have kids in the system, and that's going to be a majority of the voters. And it's just it's like a waiting game at this point.
Yes. Yeah. That obviously that could happen. I think the focus, I think the taxpayers would appreciate using what we have, fixing it up. If we got to borrow money, borrow money. If we got to, just make it right for the community. And then when the timing's right and they see that, hey, we got a good use for North, a good use for Union, we're using our other campuses adequately. Now we're out of space because enrollment, then I think we have opportunities to, go out for a bond, and maybe it's smaller. Maybe we learned our lesson. Maybe it's, let's do a K-6 in the village, and then eventually a brand new 7 to 12. Who knows down the road? But my fear is right now we're going to be getting less from the state, and the cost is going to continue to go up. So we got to watch that. But right now the focus is 2 campuses and having the most incredible experience in each of the 4 schools, and be the best in the business.
Awesome. What else? But safety, school safety. Tell me my kids are safe. Tell me my wife's safe. What do we got?
Yes. So in a great spot right now. We have 2 jurisdictions. You guys know that, the village and the township. Started here, we had 1 SRO in both the buildings. Now we have 2 in each. So a lot of the research out there, and I hate to always go to worst case scenario, and I don't want to startle anybody, but a lot of the school shootings that we've studied and a lot of the violence that have occurred in schools, the less police officers that you have, the less good guys with guns, the longer it takes to stop the problem, right? So in Nashville, they had no police officers in the Nashville shooting when the person blew open the door, and it took 14 minutes.
Oof.
So we have, right, they had nobody in the building. We have 2 already in the building. So we feel like, we strengthen the interior by having more good guys and more trained guys with guns that can protect our kids if the worst case scenario happens. So that's the first thing, is we've actually invested in personnel. We did the same in the village. So we have 2 down in the village and we have 2 in the township. The other thing that's great is not only do we have 2, but we have anywhere from 5 to 6 in and out of there every single day. We provided them with an environment. If they need anything, they can come in, and they're right next door to the seminary. So our partnership with the township and the village is great. We also have drone capabilities. I think we talked about this. So inside our school, we have drones that we can deploy, our police can deploy. So we have that surveillance outside before if something were to ever happen.
Wow.
We've been working real hard. If you go into any of the buildings now, we've funneled everybody into one entrance now. So you can only get in the main doors. And guess who's right there, who's already seeing you come in? We have cameras on people that are coming in, and we have a police officer at the door. So if you try to come in and cause us harm, the first person you're going to see is our police officers, right?
Good.
We have 1 at each table or at the door, and then we have 1 walking around, and they rotate all day. So 1's walking around, checking things out, checking our access points, and 1's at the table, and then they switch. And all day we have live high definition cameras on anybody outside or inside. So that's really good. And we have a visitor almost once a week, Pogo. So he's able to check for anything from explosives to drugs to anything. And he's a part of our safety plan.
It's a girl.
Yeah,
it's a
Pogo's
girl.
a girl, Supe. Come on, that's my girl.
Pogo's a girl.
I love
Pogo's a girl.
I love her.
And the other thing too is we're not afraid to hide this, and we're not Big Brother. All right. Yeah. I'm just telling you the facts. So anywhere you drive around our school building, we're going to take a picture of your license plate. All right. So we have 6 flock cameras that are positioned all throughout anywhere you can get into our property. So the moment you pull in, Isaac, we're going to take a picture, not of you.
Why are you saying I'm going to get into
We're taking a picture of your license plate, and in 7 seconds, it's going to run you against a national database. It's checking to see if you're in a stolen car, there's a warrant out for your arrest, or you're a violent offender, or anything serious. We don't care about speeding ticket. That's not what, we're looking for the serious things. Once you turn into our places, if you're one of them people, it's going to text message our 4 SROs, and they're going to know that you're in our parking lot.
This is the only thing you really have to worry about with me. Okay, careful doing donuts in the parking lot in the snow.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you could probably get away with that as long as you didn't steal the car, right? Because the moment you turn into the lot, it's going to alert us. And but we don't store the data, and it it's if it's not a hit, it goes away. So we don't care about people pulling in and out. We want you to use our parking lots. We get it. It's just for those, or Amber alerts, anything like that comes across. It alerts the inside. It's a effort to kind of strengthen the perimeter. So we're taking what used to be a very soft target, which is schools, and really harden it right now. So, yep,
that's good. All I know is whenever I go into the elementary school, I get harassed by the two SRO officers.
Yeah.
Every time. So I mean, as soon as I walk in, they're like, "Get out!" I'm like, "Oh, okay." They must have ran my plates.
Yeah, Lori, this is a perfect time to bring up the fact that this podcast is recorded. It will pop up onto the MLO Bros Facebook page. You can go there. Also, our YouTube page. You can go there. Go to, I believe it's the streams section or live videos section, and you can watch this whole thing back. We did talk earlier about
this is about Dobbins, though. This is different.
Directing traffic, but Dobbins was not discussed. So what do you?
Yeah, she's right. So yeah, we went from 30 kids at Dobbins to now over 100 in the preschool.
Wow.
So there's a lot of pickup and drop off there, and this is a small school like North. They're very small schools. The parking lots aren't that big. We have a lot of green space. We talked about, expanding, but I got to be very careful with our resources because we're going to need these for other major projects. So our priority right now is traffic at the seminary and down in the village. But I'm going to talk to our preschool director about the actual need for more traffic flow out there. I've heard it's getting bad.
Talk about the high school lot back out on the Dobbins.
Oh yeah. That's growing too. I believe that's, if I'm understanding where she is, it's the
lot back out. So
the football stadium,
Lori, or the other one, or the main high school. That's a mess right there anyways. You have Dobbins, you have the high school, you have the elementary school, you have the buses. I mean, what do you do on a 1-lane road right there with no turning lanes? I mean, that's brutal.
Yeah, I think when it comes to this, it's going to just have to be about patience for, and I, making a left after the drop off. I know exactly what she's talking about. Yep. We're actually meeting about that. It seems to be getting worse there too.
Really?
So I'm kind of glad that we didn't make the decision to move the kindergarten here, because I think that would have been preschool and kindergarten here would have really impacted the traffic as well too. So,
I mean, could you go right and then just go down? But that's so far out of the way. Go right and then go down North Lima or Struthers Road. That's so far out of the way.
Yep.
Man,
we need a loop around. We need a loop around Dobbins.
Yeah. Look, she said, we're stuck. It's terrible. We're stuck in a loop left out. Yeah, that's brutal. Lori, I don't leave the house that early because I don't want anything to do with that traffic. That's brutal. Yep. So she works on Western Reserve Road. So she's turning left. Yeah, man, I have no idea.
When I retire, I'm opening a food truck out down in the village and just sell to the parents on the side of the road. So.
What I always thought was when it gets warm out, you get a little cart and sell handles.
Hot dogs.
Sell hot dogs and handles.
How fast would we get in trouble with the cops if we did that right outside in the village with a little hot dog cart?
Immediately. The lawyer would have a warrant.
Lambert would be out there tasing us as soon as we came out with a hot dog.
Right.
Yeah. Anything else, Supe?
Yeah, just a couple other little things. Just a lot of people know this, but the board organized in January, and we welcomed Greg Riddle back for a term as board member, and Jeff Sabrin. So we're excited that they've joined the team. Larry Warren, returned as well. Solid board, just exciting past couple days. Already making some progress with the facilities and doing a good job there. So I feel like we're going to be in a really good place. Our some of the successes we've had is we've listened to all the parents. Well, let me put it this way. 762 of them wanted us to start after Labor Day.
Yeah.
So we got the 2-year calendar. We will be starting after Labor Day for the next 2 school years. So longer summers, June, all of July and August, like back in the day when we were growing up.
Back when we went to
Yeah,
school.
back when we were, so we were able to do that. It did require us to shorten some of the breaks. So, we're not going to get a longer break, but obviously we have to take
Christmas break was, I'm speaking on behalf of all parents here. Christmas break was an eternity.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a freaking eternity. And tell me in the comments, people, if you agree with that. It was so long.
Yep. So now we still got a classic Christmas break, but we focused energy on having those 3 months off in the summer and starting after the fair and get ready to go. So
yeah, see, I guarantee everybody's gonna say, yeah, it was way.
Stephanie has a good point, Seville. She says maybe you guys can talk to the Chick-fil-A corporate about traffic flow.
Yeah,
I'm sure the pickup drop-off line could be greatly improved. They would have you they know everything about traffic.
Look, Craig, look at everybody. I mean, it was like 19 days of break.
Yeah.
Now you go on your vacations.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gone forever. I'm looking at these posts on Facebook. Where did you go? You went all over the place.
Yeah, but I didn't go. We always go to Florida, down to Siesta. We've been doing it for 14 years, but we didn't go till after the first week. So I was here working that first week. We were gone for 10 days, but yeah, that's been corrected. I think people will be very happy with the longer. And usually August 1st. Everybody's like depressed because school's about to start. Summer's now it's it doesn't start. We got a whole month, till we get going. And I think that's what the parents will really appreciate over time. So
that's how we
like you said, back in the day I think for all of us that went to school around here that started, it was always after the fair. And it's like you go to the fair. Like in my head, it's still triggered. It's like you go to the fair and then school starts. I mean, that's just how it always was. So
we had growing up in South Range, they did the day 2 days after the fair was done because all the kids at South Range had 4-H, had animals in the fair. So that's why they let everybody clean up their animals, take all their animals home, and then you always started back 2 days after.
Yeah,
but,
like Brian agrees. Yeah, it's like the last hurrah. So
exactly. Yep.
Wow. Yeah. So, hey, the other thing I want to talk to you guys about, new for everybody here. So the solar eclipse is April the 8th. Okay. So it's a Monday. It's the first day we come back. So here's the dilemma we're having. And I'd love to get some feedback from the parents, working with the board right now in our team. So April the 8th is the solar eclipse. It's going to be a total solar eclipse. It starts at 2:16. All right. And it doesn't end technically until like 4 something. Right. So kids can't look at it. We can't look at the eclipse. So our fear is they're coming back on a Monday and then we're going to dismiss them during the dismissal and they're going to be unsupervised, whether they're on a school bus
right
with 60 kids, and you're going to tell kindergartners, don't look, and guess what they're going to do? They're going to look. All right. And I don't know, some schools are canceling for the day, just adding that day on to spring break.
It'll be cloudy. You watch.
Yeah, it'll be cloudy. We won't see it. And
then April, there's a good chance it's going to be raining.
Rated, yeah. But a lot of schools haven't made a decision, but some have. It is going to be a historic event. I know people are going to want to go, and see it, and everybody's going to want to look up. My fear is on the bus. I got one bus driver, 60 kids, and they're all going to be hanging out looking for it. Or they'll be trying to do this, which doesn't work.
100%. I'm totally going to, I'm going to burn my retinas out that day. I promise you.
You need those glasses. I know we should order those glasses now.
I still have them from the last one. I have them from the last one from like 2017 or whatever that was.
I think that's a good idea. Try and avoid the headline that goes something along the lines of entire school goes blind because unsupervised kids were looking at the eclipse.
I know.
So is that in the talk then, Supe, to cancel maybe?
Yeah. So we eliminated some options. We had a bunch. One was to do nothing, and just, let's just educate. But then we don't even have time to prep the kids.
Yeah.
They've been on vacation for a week. They come back on the Monday and it's like, hey, now you guys are going to go home, but don't look up at the sky.
So you tell a kid not to look up at the sky. Every kid's going to look up at the sky.
Oh, I know. I mean, so the one option was to call a calamity day and just everybody stays at home, right?
Calamity day.
The second option was to revise the calendar and have a waiver day. The kids stay home and the staff comes in.
Son of a, I'm sorry.
I know.
Freaking crazy.
And then the other option, which we kind of took that off the table, was we could do an early dismissal. Kids would leave at 11, come in, leave at 11 or 12 or whatever. It gives them 2 hours to be with their parents and, whatever. But
that could be a problem though, too. That could cause all
because kindergartners, first graders going home to, who knows what could happen there. So, we got 65 days to think it through. I'm going to look at what some other districts are doing. Right now, not a lot of people are putting too much into it, but we're running out of time. It'll be here before you know it. You're right. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to call calamity day, and it's going to rain the whole day.
I can't wait for the internet to call Poland soft because they call it calamity day for a solar eclipse.
Yeah. If it was at 10 o'clock, I would buy glasses for the whole school.
Everybody. Yeah.
And we would all go outside and watch it at 10 o'clock. Actually, we had one a while back. It wasn't a full.
We had a full here. It was a full, or it was real close. Do you remember that, Isaac?
Yeah. When was that? 14 or 15?
This one is going to be much, much more directly over the moon. Sun. It's going to be much more of a direct contact.
I want a 16, 17. I had the glass. Lucas was born. We saved the glasses intentionally because we knew this one was coming. Yeah. And it was the weirdest thing because it was so yellow outside.
Yeah.
Like it was creepy.
I think this time it should be even more though.
Really?
It lines up. It lines up even more this time.
Wow.
So it will be harder to not look up because it will be more noticeable.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So we have a lot of work to do with that, but it'd be interesting to see overall, what the parents, and if whatever we decide to do, I want to remind the parents, if you take your kids out to see this, we're fine with that. You know what I mean? We're not going to count kids absent. If you took your kids out early to go witness this historic event, we're not going to, that's not what we're going to do. But we're going to keep thinking about this. I'm going to talk to some other Supes, see what they're going to do. And if we end up extending spring break for a day or whatever happens, we'll work it out, So,
awesome. But I'm excited for that. So cool.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm looking what everybody else is saying here. Yeah. They're saying Boardman's off. Yeah. Early recess and bad if everyone had enough time to plan. That's a good point too. Debbie's saying, as long as they have enough time to plan. So, okay. Yep. Anything else, Supe?
No, man, just everything's been really good. Looking forward to a great year. Thanks for having me on always and letting me get the good word out.
Come back next month again. Have you on once a month?
We'll get back on our regular schedule once a month. And if anything comes up, let me know. And thanks for all that you do for the schools. And we'll get after it. I think I heard the girls, the Lady Dogs won. With 1 second left, they threw up a Hail Mary and we won it. And
nice.
I think we're going to be tough to catch now in the league. We'll probably win the league. So congratulations.
Girls basketball is always so flipping tough. They are always tough. Man.
Always. Hey, how about the boys?
The boys
are. Have you seen a game yet?
I haven't gone. I've been so busy with everything else.
It's like we have a football team playing basketball. These guys are huge.
I love that kind of basketball.
Oh, they're wearing everybody down. We're undefeated in the league right now.
Awesome.
And I think Thursday, I don't know what the schedule is. I know we play somebody. What's today? Thursday. Friday we play. So I'm not sure. It might be Girard tomorrow. But
is it home or away?
I believe so. Yeah, tomorrow's home.
Maybe we'll check out a game tomorrow. Maybe Lucas, Cam, and I will go check out a game tomorrow.
Big up front, and they've been fun to watch. So
Over
thanks
the next
for
couple
everything.
years. Over the next
All
couple
right,
years,
Supe,
we're
we'll
gonna
see
have
you
some
later.
awesome-
Yep. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
But is he like the most transparent superintendent ever?
He's awesome. He's great.
I mean, seriously, honestly, what else do people want from a superintendent? My goodness. Back in my day, the superintendent.
What was I going to say? Oh, so Stephanie, did I tell you what mine and Stephanie's bet is?
No, what is it?
Now that hold on, where's her comment at? Let me check and see if I can find it. So we have a bet, me and Stephanie Hahn, that
before you guys all go and Isaac start talking and rambling, do us a favor. Can you like this and follow? Dude, everybody's gonna drop off once you start talking. And like and follow the MLO Bros. Just give us a like and a follow, please. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, please. If you haven't, go down below, give us a like. We'd appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. We're just going to talk about, brotherly stuff. So about the levy, right? Yeah. My bet with Stephanie is that the levy won't pass for another 10 years. Nothing will pass. And
None
Stephanie,
of them?
if you're still watching.
So you say the renewal's not going to pass?
I think it comes down to nothing more than money. This renewal will prove that the old people living in Poland, if it's all about money, it will not pass. The renewal will not pass.
If that's the case, we're screwed. I'm telling you right now.
So prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Poland, and vote for the renewal. But I think it's purely about money. And the only way it passes is after time, like I talked about earlier. Over time, younger folks will move in that have kids in the school
I hope you're wrong,
because and they will want the levies to pass, and it'll pass. So you might be waiting it out. I hope I have to pay Stephanie, and I'm hoping I'm wrong, but that's what it sounds like because they make up whatever excuse they want. But if a majority of the voting people of Poland don't have kids in the system, they will not vote yes. And I think
you're wrong because
I hope I'm wrong too. Prove me wrong, guys. I hope I'm wrong.
$6 million. Here's the thing: they start losing $6 million, right? They start losing $6 million over 4 years. This school's screwed. I'm just telling you right now. They're going to make cuts. They're going to. I mean, sports. Everything will be on the table. I mean, that's
Barb, the problem is you have all these taxes going up, right? So you have all these taxes going up and people having to spend more money. The last levy and the last time we were voting on all different kinds of renewals of levies, it was I don't want to spend any. The average voter was saying I don't want to spend any more money on anything. So if that continues, that trend continues. It's not. It's. I know it's been going on for 40 years, but
she's saying I can't be the. Yeah, I don't even think some of these people with grandkids in the school district, I don't think they vote yes on it anyways, even if their grandkids go there. Honestly, I know people who had grandkids that said they weren't voting. So
because what the ultimate excuse was, no, we're on a fixed income. So if they're on a fixed income, let's not renew this, and then we have even more money.
Bo is saying you are so wrong on this one. Renewals never fail. Easy money.
No, it's not. Mine isn't for my bet with her isn't for the renewal. My bet's for a levy passing.
Oh, I thought you meant the renewals.
No. For a new school is my bet with her. But I think the renewal will be a nice little test to see.
Ohio. Yeah, he's saying mine's starting to flip too, man.
Yeah. It's totally, and we talked about this 3 years ago. When we were arguing with what's his name? The dentist.
Donopoulos.
Yeah, because he was saying, no, we're not seeing an increase in students. And I'm like, statistically, it will happen because you're gonna have a turning over. It has to eventually happen.
I agree. So all right, let's get out of here. Everybody, thanks for watching. As always, Poland. But boy, we got over 100 people every time we do one of these with the Supe. It's crazy. Very informative. Again, we are the MLO Bros, Luke and Isaac. If you guys need financing or real estate needs, let us know. We are both realtors and loan officers. There's our plug again. And also, if you need homeowners insurance, don't forget about our main sponsor, Tim Stikafuse at Valley Insurance in Poland. We will see everybody later. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're live at 8:30 p.m.
And people, You saw we had 100 people watching. If you're selling your house, let us put your house down in the bottom right corner down below me, and we'll sell your house to Poland. We get viewership. We have reach. Put us to use. MLO Bros will help you sell your house.
Help us help you.
Help us help you. Well, thank you everybody for watching.
All right.
We appreciate it.
Bye, everyone. See you guys. Thanks. What are we doing? Here. I'll do this one. That's a good.
Hi, it's Isaac from the MLO.
How young you look there.
What? I can't see
you see
anything.
that?
Hi, it's Isaac from the MLO Bros. Today, my nephew Lucas and I are out here handing out refinance flyers, trying to stir up some loan officer business. So we're putting them in people's mailboxes here. First house, let's see how we do.
Hey! Get out of here, you punks!
Lucas, run!
Still
look how tiny Lucas. I couldn't lift him up like that now if I wanted to.
No, because I mean that was 3 years ago, probably.
Right.
I mean, that is the best.
That's
look
4 years ago.
Too.
That was 2020. That was right when I first started working.
4 years ago. Yeah, you look younger too, man. That's crazy. Lucas,
yeah, my beard. That was before I grew a beard.
Lucas, what? He's 8 there. He's as old as Cameron.
Yeah, I wasn't even engaged to Shelby at that point.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, everybody. We'll see y'all later. Bye. Music.